Hey, Michael here from Beer Baseball Blog, the adventures of craft beer and baseball. It is the Beer Baseball Blogcast, episode 3, May 19th, 2020. We really want to thank everybody who's been joining us live on YouTube, Facebook. We're on Twitch and Periscope, which is Twitter. And thank you so much. It's really been a pleasure to do this every week, and it's given us something really fun to look forward to. And we loved all the great spirited discussion. We've had a few scratches today in the lineup, but my old trusty Angelo Trinidad is here. A fun fact about Angelo is that he was once caught on camera dancing after a Raul Ibanez walk-off homer. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, so not only was it caught on camera dancing, but it was caught on camera dancing on an ESPN broadcast. And the specific dance was none other than the Batista machine guns. And
Nice.
how I found out about that was a friend who lives in Philly, works at a bar, and he texted me like immediately after the game and was like, "Hey, were you at the Angels Mets game tonight?" I go, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm pretty sure I saw you on camera doing the Batista machine guns." And I said, "Yep, that was me." So
that is awesome.
So I just got caught up in the excitement in the moment. And as anyone that's been to Angel games will tell you, if they are losing heading into the 7th inning stretch, a lot of folks leave because they want to avoid traffic and get home early. So that opened the opportunity for us to move down to the field level, which is I'm sure why the camera caught me. But yeah, definitely a funny moment, and even funnier that someone actually caught it. So
that's amazing, and not very often do you do something like that and the cameras catch it, and it's a very right. We'll have to find that footage for sure.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
So another regular, Kevin Lyon, is on assignment. Angelo, do you know where his whereabouts are?
Didn't you text him and let him know where he needed to go today?
I did. Okay. I didn't get any reply, so I'm hoping he's in the continental United States, but we don't know at this point.
Yeah, who knows where he is? But if he's on assignment, I'm sure there's good reason for it, and I'm looking forward to hearing about that assignment.
Well, yeah, and definitely. So hopefully he'll be here next week. We will definitely see. We're actually going to add Card Shop Erik. That is impeccable timing, my friend, that you got in. Erik Newton, a fun fact about Erik can be seen cracking, misspelled on my sheet right here, home runs on Dodger Films, on Dodger Film Softball on YouTube. He also owns Hall of Fame baseball cards. Card Shop Erik, thank you for joining us tonight.
Of course, buddy. How you guys doing?
We're doing excellent, and I wanted to introduce you to Angelo. I don't think you've met him yet. Angelo, meet Card Shop Erik. Card Shop Erik, meet Angelo. I am Michael Mondragon. A fun fact about me, I own cracked bats from Danny Tartable and Ron Renicky from 1985, and I'm literally sitting on them. For those who want to know, right there, Ron Renicky, former manager of the Brewers, now manager of the Boston Red Sox. I'm sure a lot of people don't even realize that. And I have the Danny Tartable bat back here, which I may show one day or not. It's actually too dark to even show up. But I thought that was a fun fact that I literally have these cracked bats. Is when I was a bat boy for the Phoenix Giants, which I will make mention of later because there's some fun stuff to be told about those stories. So thank you guys for joining me. And as always, we start off with, if I can go to my deck, what are you drinking? Angelo Trinidad, go for it.
All right. So tonight I am drinking from Lakefront Brewery. I'm drinking their New Grist Pilsner style beer, which is actually interesting and unique because this is actually a gluten-free certified Pilsner style beer. Definitely still didn't lose the hops or the pops with going gluten-free. This one has a ABV of 5.1% with a 15 IBU. And Mike, that's just the level of IBU that I like. So really, really great, easy to drink, smooth. And I know you had an opportunity to visit Lakefront Brewery when you were in Milwaukee last year.
I did, and one of the great things about Milwaukee, and well, first of all, like Lakefront is a really great brewery. It's also one that was highly recommended that I have to go see. It's literally, as the name would imply, it's on the lake right there, and when you go there, one of the great things is they have some amazing food. They have the fried cheese curds. They have these big German-style pretzels. They have the brats and a very German influence, and I loved every bit of it. I actually did the brewery tour there, which was very interesting because the people that run the actual brewery tour, they're very I'll say colorful, and they tell you, like, they yell at you, they say, "Hey, come on, keep up," or like they're really in your face and stuff like that. I guess it's one of the things that they're kind of known for. But it's super cool, and that's a really great beer. Where did you find that beer?
Whole Foods. My go-to lately has been discovering these new and different brews that I haven't tried. Whole Foods has a section where you can buy single bottles or single cans. So they've been kind of my go-to here the last couple weeks to get some new stuff for the blogcast. And there hasn't been one that I've tried yet since we've started that I haven't liked. So, and even if I didn't like it,
Awesome.
I probably wouldn't let you guys know. It's beer, right?
That's good. Yeah, exactly. So Erik, you have some very unique beers too. And they're from Beechwood Brewing, am I correct?
Yeah. I'm gonna try this one called Thrill Seeker. There it is.
Right on.
I'm gonna try this one first. I don't really know anything about Beechwood except what I read on the back of the can here. It's a West Coast style IPA that will push your senses to the edge. But this is one of those.
And these were gifted to you, right?
Say again.
These were gifted to you by a member that comes in your store, right?
Yeah, well, George M from our live streams. Yeah, George M gifted me these beers, so this is the first one I get to try. I already drank the Pliny earlier, so. But cheers, boys.
Right on. Thank you so much for joining. And yeah, Beechwood is actually really great. I actually went to them in Long Beach. They actually have the Beechwood Blendery, which is actually an offshoot of Beechwood. And it's actually more sours and some aged stuff, which is really super unique. And if you didn't know about it, you probably wouldn't even be able to find it. Of course,
are they associated with Beechwood Barbecue? It's the same.
Yes, it's right around the corner from Beechwood Barbecue, which is more the kind of like the thing that people know. And
Beechwood Barbecue is excellent.
Exactly. So the fact that it has like something that's pretty well known, the barbecue is amazing. But then they have the higher level.
It's Huntington Beach, I'm realizing, and it's cool that they give you a bunch of stats on the back, including the malt and the hops they use, the ABV, IBU. It's kind of cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we're trying to educate more people about that. So the one I have for tonight is actually, if I can get my deck to agree with me, it is from Ogo Pogo Brewing. I believe this is in San Gabriel. So this is the Genbu India Pale Ale, 7.1 ABV, and I believe about a 50 IBU, which is the bitterness. So it's about halfway. 77 or 770 is usually the way I like to go. That's to use a baseball term, my sweet spot. So this one's a really great. I went there about say a year and a half ago. And they have a very unique story. As you see, they have the kind of like the Loch Ness monster. So they're kind of about kind of like the kind of fairy tales, or I don't know if it's fairy tales, but they have a lot of good stories behind the names of their beers and everything. So super cool. So thank you guys for joining me so much. This is always fun to learn about new beers, and it's definitely half of our broadcast is to really educate ourselves on beer. So let's jump.
Mike, real quick. I wonder my technology. My iPad just finished uploading. If I try to connect with that instead of my phone, do you think we could do that?
Yeah, go ahead and try that, and then we'll go into the baseball news. So we'll have you jump back in.
Let me see what's happening here. It should work. I should probably exit this one first, so I'll leave and I'll just pop right back in.
Perfect. All right, so he'll be back, and then we'll have him jump back in. So this was something that came out yesterday, and it was actually something you saw, Angelo, in Ballpark Digest. Kevin Reichard has actually had the news last week for our news, but this week it was California, New York governor clears way for sports in empty ballparks in June. So, this is going to be something going forward. Welcome back, Erik. Everything's looking good on your side. So this is something interesting that the governors of two of the biggest cities in the United States. We can hear you. We can hear you. So two of the governors for two of the biggest cities in the United States, are starting to clear the way for this, for baseball to come back. I seem to think that, and really, Cuomo says, for not only hockey, basketball, baseball, and football, which I think a lot of people really want back as well. But I feel like all of them are going to be really. They probably don't want to be the first ones to come back for a lot of reasons. For failing in whatever way that you can fail in this one. So I'm interested to know your thoughts, Angela. Is like how do you see this going forward?
Yeah, it's very interesting because obviously the first step and the first hurdle. I mean, we've heard all these discussions about the proposal to the MLBPA that the owners had approved to bring baseball back. And really, it's all contingent upon what orders are lifted from the governing bodies or their jurisdictions. So this kind of is kind of step one in that, in saying they're going to clear way to have sports. And I know there's a void and it's been missed. But again, I think it really comes down to whether the players and the league can come to an agreement on being able to start up. It's great that this is step one because this kind of eliminates the big what if, right? Because that was the biggest one, when it's available. But if we, it really just depends on what agreement that the players and the MLBPA and the league can kind of come to. And I know a lot of it's business driven, and there's been a lot of players that have been outspoken about their thought of what they'd like to see happen. I know recently with the NBA, both Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal expressed their opinion to just scrap the rest of the season at this point, and we got to keep the players and the fans safety and health first and foremost. So I think it all kind of goes back to that. But I definitely think this kind of clears one hurdle that everyone's kind of been worried about. And obviously this is the biggest hurdle because this is something that the MLBPA, the NFLPA, and the NBA Players Association can't control. So the fact that two of the largest states in the country are willing to lift that, I think a lot of other states are going to, certainly follow suit. It just really depends on, really what the leagues and the players decide to do going forward.
Absolutely. And this is so unprecedented. So there's really no way of going about this. I think that, this is something that I'll talk in a further slide about is a lot of these Asian countries have actually dealt with this effectively before. Halo Haven actually brings up a kind of an interesting point, but it's there's a lot of money involved. So this is the part that's going to get really super tricky.
Yeah.
Erik, do you have any thoughts about baseball and how it potentially could return or if it's going to return?
I mean, I'm sure it'll return at some point, but it's way above my pay grade to even estimate when or how. I think the whole world is going to change after all this.
I absolutely think so too. And, I was reading an article on The Athletic, and I think something that was well said was the issue here is less about money and more about health. So, but ultimately, Blake Snell, Sean Doolittle, and Mike Trout have been very vocal about, the returning to baseball. There's too many lingering questions about COVID-19 to fully comprehend all the risks going in. And something that baseball is kind of notorious for is kind of like their labor disputes. I mean, after the strike in '94, baseball had a really tough time coming back. This could actually potentially make baseball look really bad with a work stoppage. Angelo?
Yeah, and I think what you have up there on the graphic is, yeah, you're absolutely right. In a lot of people's view and perspective, and I think ratings even dictate it, right? Baseball is a third to football and basketball, and the implications of a work stoppage could be pretty devastating, not only from a financial standpoint, but just from a future viewership standpoint. When you think about the implications that at least the two MLB strikes that I can recall, the viewership implications were tremendous. And not only does it affect that, but when you look at the '94 strike and using replacement players to continue the season and kind of the craziness that stirred up, that did damage in its own right. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how it plays out and what decision they make going forward. But again, so long as the players and health are first and foremost, I think that they need to make every decision like that and go through the proper necessary protocols they need to make those determinations. And yeah, much like Card Shop Erik said, that's definitely above all our pay grades. I just think there's far too many what ifs to even fathom what that could even look like at this point.
Yeah, and Erik, you own a baseball hobby shop that has memorabilia, has cards, and we're going to talk about that later during the Pack Wars. We're going to give you a history of that. But how has this affected the card and memorabilia industry?
I obviously can only speak from my point of view, which is a pretty limited point of view. But I feel like a lot of people, since there's no live sports to watch, a lot of people have turned to collecting sports cards, and especially turned to those businesses that are doing any kind of sports cards related things, like on YouTube and social media platforms. I think that's where a lot of people are going to get their sports entertainment right now. And that's just from my point of view.
Yeah, and you went from doing live breaks, which is actually opening up product online that people buy. You've done that. You've gone from 1 day to 4 days in a week. So you've had to change your business completely because of this. But also we found out that Topps and some of Panini have actually shut down production of these because at the time those printing places were actually shut down.
Yeah, they're slowly getting back on their feet. I think that both those companies are probably coming back at like maybe half capacity right now. There's supposed to be some new products from both Panini and Topps hitting the market in the next week or so, but everything's still kind of up in the air. They're giving release dates for products, but all those release dates are pretty soft and fluid, and just kind of have to roll with the punches, all of us.
Yeah, and people would argue that Taiwan and Korea have running baseball leagues right now, so it's easy to kind of say like, oh well, look, they're doing it. But the argument is that I think that, and I might be wrong on this. This might be my only opinion, but I seem to think that it's true. It's that like they actually have gone through this and actually take it really super seriously. Whereas I feel like this is the first time for a lot of Americans to even worry about a virus, and it's affected us all, in not only like here but globally. Not something that, like, for instance, like SARS or H1N1 or a lot of the other ones. I mean, these are all over my head, but I know that the things that we've heard about, but we haven't really experienced, and they take all this very seriously. So a lot of the implementation is already in place. So Angelo, do you know anything about that?
Yeah, so yeah, it's definitely very interesting, and a couple things on that. I mean, definitely you know uh, uh, the East was hit with this pandemic, sooner than here in the United States. So the time frame or the lapse in time since they had their spike in the cases has far exceeded and they had the protocols in place from previous from previous things that have happened in the past to have this practice. The the other piece is just culturally, right? Mike, you spent some time in Japan. Culturally, it's just so different, and how people live their day to day life. I mean, here, we talked about this last week. I go into Costco, people are required to wear face masks, but you see people with their nose sticking out or their the bottom lip sticking out of the bottom, and there's just not a lot of education or proper use of PPE. Whereas, I mean, even back when you went to Japan, Mike, which was about 20 or so years ago, how many people walking down the street just on a regular day did you see wearing a face mask?
Yeah, all the time. In fact, I look back on it. I watch like wrestling shows from back then, and you look in the crowd, like early 2000s, and there, like I wouldn't say half, but I mean, there's a majority of people that had the mask on, but it wasn't a social stigma, and I think that I think that people. And it's probably justified, and it's probably understood because now it's required that people see it going against their civil liberties. So it's or the Constitution or something like that. So this is getting into like a really crazy And I know, and Erik and I have had these hard discussions about this. But Erik has a much different living situation than I do. For instance, my girlfriend is immune compromised. I live in a house with her parents. So I have a lot more at risk than say someone else. So it's much different. And then you, Angelo, you have children in the house. So like it's a protective thing. But for someone who's like Erik, who is single and he wants to live his life and doesn't see the effect of this, it's different, and it's a huge adjustment. I totally get it.
Well, and I mean, and on top of that, Erik has a business that he's operating that is, that's his source of income, and that's been significantly affected and impacted by this, and he's had to get creative and innovative, which that's awesome, and I praise you for doing that, because these card breaks are super fun and super interesting. I know we're going to plug all his stuff here at the end, but if you guys get an opportunity, participate in these. These are awesome. I had a chance to look at on the website when we were looking at which cards we were going to use for the blogcast, and these are really fun to participate in, and it gives him an opportunity to supplement his business and his income. So continue. That's my small promotion to support small businesses, restaurants, card shops, everything, because some people view it in a different perspective, because now we're dealing with someone's livelihood.
Absolutely, and we'll go into your shop, Erik, when we do the pack wars, because I really want to make a mention of this, and we were talking about it before on some previous episodes, that if there's any time that people should be supporting small business, it should be now, and there's ways to do that. So let's go on. This has been a popular segment, This Week in Baseball History. So this week I chose someone who I'm a big fan of, only because he's literally I think he's just a little bit older than I am, but he's awesome, and he is Julio Franco. And on May 19th, 2004, he broke his own record set 2 weeks before. He became the oldest player to hit a pinch hit home run. At that time, he was the Braves' first baseman, and he was 45 years old, 269 days old, when he accomplished this feat. And then 2 years later, 3 years later, he became, in a 5-3 win, he became the oldest player to hit a home run, and he hit it off Diamondbacks pitcher Randy Johnson, and they became the oldest hitter against the oldest pitcher to homer. So the most combined years, which is pretty amazing. So So the reason why I bring him up is this astounded me when I actually looked into him. Now, the fact that he's not more highly regarded in baseball in general is crazy. But he's actually for the KBO. He's actually he's on the coaching staff. He's one of the hitting coaches. But in Major League Baseball, he has 2,500 hits, which is pretty close to 3,000, which is nuts. But totaled, he has 4,200 in his combined leagues in baseball. That United Baseball League is actually an independent league. So he has really done an amazing job in baseball, and I feel underrated. Angelo, any thoughts on Julio Franco?
Yeah, so it's funny. This is kind of the first that I've. That's an awesome fun fact to know that not only is he the oldest player to pinch hit a home run, but he broke his own record 2 weeks prior. Definitely very interesting, and yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Highly underrated. I mean, specifically when you look at the total number of hits he's amassed over the course of his career, and even though 2586 definitely isn't anything to look past. And you look at 42-35 career hits, with the majority of those coming in the major leagues. I mean, it's kind of hard to overlook that, and I'm sure a huge reason as to why he's one of the most successful hitting coaches out in the KBO for one of the best hitting teams in the KBO.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. Erik, any thoughts of Julio Franco? And
not too many thoughts on Julio Franco. I remember his baseball cards from back in the day, but unfortunately, I can't add any real good commentary on Julio Franco.
I remember him playing at the very end of his career, and I wanted to go see him play because, he's one of those kind of timeless players that just like hung around forever. And by the way, in this game that he hit the home run, which was his last home run in Major League Baseball, he actually had a stolen base. So you think to yourself, here's a 48-year-old man who stole a base. Oh, surely he's the oldest man to steal a base. There's somebody who was 49 who stole a base in the early 1900s. So, which amazed me as well. And by the way, here's Julio Franco with a snake. So, so I had to get this one out there. Oh, Beechwood Thrill Seeker IPA.
I am able to use I'm using my cell phone to do the actual live video stream, because for some reason when I tried to switch over to my iPad, I could not hear your audio mic. So that's why I switched back. But I am using the iPad to check out the group chat, and I just saw George M right now in your group chat. So George M, I'm drinking the Beechwood Thrill Seeker. Thanks, buddy. Cheers.
Right on. And Halo Haven said he had a great batting stance, which I think that he held it like way up here, and it was almost like pointing at the pitcher. You're absolutely right. Thank you for that. And George also said the same thing. So yeah, thank you for the beer. We'll definitely have to, once this whole pandemic is over, which I hope is soon, but I fear is long. We'll get together for some brews and watch some baseball. Right on. So let's move on to baseball card pack wars. Now, the great thing about this is we've been doing this for some time, and it's always fun. So Angelo, Kevin, and myself, we had two products, which was 2020 opening day and 2020 baseball series 1. The great thing about Card Shop Erik is he can just actually take some from his shop and jump right in as if nothing, whatever. It's part of his work. So okay, so here are the rules for baseball card pack wars. George also had a cool thing. The best part of this pandemic is card shop breaks and breweries that deliver to my door now, which is absolutely a awesome thing. You wouldn't have done more pack breaks or more product breaks had this not happened, right, Erik?
Possibly not. But that was kind of always our plan, was to build it up a little bit. But when this whole thing hit and we had to close our brick and mortar, we were forced to have to do four or even more days a week. So it's been a good thing.
Real quick, tell us about Hall of Fame baseball cards, Arcadia, California, HOFBC, please.
Briefly, family business since 1981. My dad started the business out of our garage, officially licensed starting in 1981. We are one of, if not the oldest family-owned brick and mortar in the industry. We've been going direct with Topps, Fleer, and Donruss since 1981. My dad actually recently found some of his first direct order forms with Topps from 1981. It's really cool.
Wow.
And we're, by the grace of God, we're still in business,
That's awesome. And I rediscovered collecting I remember going past your shop all the time. It's just literally sitting there. And I would go past all the time. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pop in there. And that was 4 or 5 years ago. And I'm glad I did. I have a great friendship with you. And we've really built something. I mean, this is a product of it. I think that I don't think I would have been doing this if we hadn't tried in the early days to do something like this. And you kind of formed the breaks from that. And I think we're both having a lot of fun with this and met a lot of great people. So here are the baseball card pack wars on the Beer Baseball Blogcast. We're going to open our pack. A relic card, if you have a relic card in one of these, it knocks out, you can knock out one participant. If you get an autograph card, you win the round and get to knock out both people. If not, no relics, no autographs, after all the packs are open, high numbered card wins. Let me show you real quick.
Michael, you're going to skip the standings slide, right?
I don't think I'll skip it this week. Oh. Maybe next week. Angelo, the goose egg, 0-10. We had a guest win. John Talwar won one time last week, so he's actually higher percentage-wise over Angelo. Angelo, I'm not going to jinx you a bit. I'm not going to say you're going to do good this, but you have 4 tries to get on the board here. So I'm going to let our guests go first. And actually make the selection of product that you want to do.
Oh, that's me.
That's you.
Topps Series 1.
Topps Series 1. What can you tell me about a Topps Series 1? You have a good history. It just came out recently, correct?
Close to the beginning of the year, like February 1st, I want to say. But this is Topps is, as probably most people, the 8 people watching right now know, Topps is one of the definitive baseball card manufacturers. This is their flagship brand, meaning this is their base brand that they've been putting out basically since 1951 or 52. And this is the 2020 edition right here. That's 70 years old of baseball cards basically. Wow. So it's classic Topps baseball right here. Shout out to Bubble Pug. Shout out to Bubble Pug right now, and anybody else. Any of my other HOFBCers that are watching right now, comment in the chat if you're from HOFBC right now, so I can see you.
Yeah, and I'll pop them up there when people comment. So that's the great part about this platform. I get to put those up there. Bubble Pug, is he in Milwaukee or is he just a Milwaukee Brewer fan?
She is in Milwaukee somewhere. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure why I assumed it was a male. And by the way, Erik, in the Beer Baseball Blogcast, if you get a brewer, we all drink.
Of course, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Awesome. So dig into that. So let's see what we got.
All right, buddy. I'm trying to figure out my camera. I'm just gonna take a quick look at the cards real quick. I know nobody else can see them but me, but here's a nice Kevin Biggio right there. We got Biggio in there, which is cool. There is, look at that. How about a Brewers team card?
All right, let's do it.
That's what I'm talking about. That's
Cheers.
What we're here for.
And a Lakewood Brewing chug right there.
Yep.
What else do I got in here? See if there's anything else. There's a Juan Soto card there.
Right on.
Let's see if anything else is in here. Ooh, a little Walker Bueller on the throwback design there.
Nice.
I like that one. But we're looking for high card number. Let me see here. I got a 327.
327.
I didn't get that Pete Alonso, but I do have Taylor Rogers, card number 342. Can you see that? There it is.
That's going to be hard to beat.
That's going to be tough to beat.
And insider knowledge, you know that Pete Alonso is the highest card. So that's impressive.
Right. Pete Alonso, there's only 350 cards in Top Series 1. So Pete Alonso is card number 350. So if you get his base card, then yeah, that'll probably win it. What's up to Chad M? What's up, Chad M? You might know Chad. He's one of our friends and moderators at HOFPZ.
I do. Thanks for joining. Go for it, Angelo.
All right. Let's see if I can get a dub. I don't know about after Card Shop Erik.
I know. I might concede the loss here.
Yeah. Alex Bregman. Jeremy Jeffries, Brewer.
All right.
Drink up.
Brewer.
Okay, yeah. They should have brought more beer home.
Carlos Santana.
Oye, ¿cómo va?
Jordan Alvarez. Jorge Alfaro. Liam Hendricks. This is a Yankee Celebrate walk-off card. That's kind of a cool shot.
Yeah, cool shot.
With that Gatorade ice bath. Starling Marte. Brandon Crawford. Yep.
Nice.
Austin Meadows. New York Yankees team card. So I got their celebration and their team card. This is really awesome. It's one of those throwback cards, but it's Mark McGuire.
Yeah, that one looks different. It might be a parallel. Does it have a number on it?
Yeah, so it's numbered 46 out of 299.
Nice.
Cool.
So that's a nice one.
Cool looking.
Matt Barnes and Jake Arrieta.
All right. So while you look up the number, I'll do mine real quick. Dustin May, you may remember him from the Olympics. He was.
It looks like he's wearing a clown wig.
I know, a Carrot Top, or what was that other guy that did the snowboarding? Or
Sean White.
Sean White, yes.
Sean White,
the tomato. Hunter Dozier. Nico Horner. Whoop, there we go. Another redhead, Justin Turner. Bryce Harper. Michael Givens. Starlin Castro. John Lester. There we go. Oop. Charlie Culberson from the Braves. JBJ, Jackie Bradley Jr. Ian Kennedy. Yeah, there we go. The throwback, Chris Bryant, who shares my January 4th birthday. Obviously not the year. Andrew Benintendi. And last but not least, Cesar Hernandez. All right. So, Angelo, what number did you get?
Not beat 234 or two. I got 270 or 342. I got 276.
276. Yeah, yes, 342. I definitely do not think that that I came anywhere near that as well. 316, 70. 54. Card Shop Erik comes in and wipes us clean.
Yeah.
Big win. Nicely done. Yep. So
beginner's luck. What can I say?
And Angelo, you look perturbed.
Yeah. Our
Erik.
guests have a far better winning percentage than me.
You better put my name on the standings because you know I'm coming back.
Of course. All right, Erik, you get to choose again.
Well, let's do. Screw it. Let's do the next pack of top six one.
Okay, go for it.
Pardon my French. Let me just see. I'm just gonna. Oh, look at that second card down.
There you go.
Brewers.
Salud.
Cheers. That is Jeremy Jeffress. I also got a little Carlos Santana. Oye, como va? I got a little
Nice.
Yordan Alvarez rookie in there. Who else? Well, Dansby Swanson. Ooh, do we take a drink for every Brewers card we get?
Yeah, I think that's the gimmick.
All right. Yasmani Grandal. As my cards fall all over the floor.
Former Dodger. How'd you feel about Yasmani when he was a Dodger, Eric?
I liked him. I was kind of bummed to see him leave because he's got a little more experience, I think, than Will Smith does. But they wanted to put their faith in the youngster, Will Smith. So we'll see how it goes.
He's now a White Sox player.
Who is?
Grandal. Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that. Let me see my high card. Or do you want high cards at the end? Is that what you do?
Yeah, high cards at the end. So
Okay,
it's
no
big reveal.
So that's basically it. Nothing else crazy in this.
Okay, go for it. Go for it, Angelo.
All right. Clayton Kershaw. Future stars Ramon Laureano. Wish Kevin was here on this one. Cole Calhoun.
Yeah.
Jesus Luzardo.
Stockton Port. Why did he play the Stockton Port?
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
Juan Soto. Kevin McCarthy. Ildemaro Vargas. Matthew Boyd. Not a Brewer mic, but a St. Louis Cardinals team card. This is a cool card. A close call.
Oh.
Goodrum safe at second after a close Polanco tag. Scott Kingery. This is not a stamped or numbered card, but a throwback Darryl Strawberry. I like the look of these. This is a homage to the 85, right? 85
I believe
series.
so, yeah.
Christian Vasquez and Blake Trinian.
All right. So get your high card up, and I will go. Oscar Mercado. I think we heard his name before. Garrett Cooper. Brad Hand. Dario Argazol. I'm not even sure I know who that player is. Jordan Yamamoto. The Lizard King, Miles Mikolas.
Why do you call him that? Or why is he called that?
In spring training one time, he literally ate a lizard, and it was on video. So they call him the Lizard King.
Right after the question left my mouth, I remember.
Yep. Vladdy Jr., which I got at a Topps tribute. Or no, Luminaries.
Topps Luminaries,
yeah. I got another one of those yesterday.
That got mailed out today.
Right on. So I'm looking forward to that, and my second out of Luminaries as well. Tyler,
photo, man.
I definitely,
definitely the best photos.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Attention to detail.
I didn't have to edit it at all. That other one.
Sweet. Tyler Beatty, I believe. Max Kepler. Jameson Tyone. Gosh, I'm really bad at this doing it backwards. Andrew Miller. Looking for a better season from him from the Cards this year. Boston Red Sox team card. Now, this is, okay, people would say Anthony Santander. It's actually Santander. So, which I found out because when I went to Camden Yards last year, that's the way they pronounced it. So it's actually a fancy pronunciation. And then Mike Fiers. who pitched a no-hitter last year, I believe, and there was no pine tar on his glove, and you'd be a jerk to say he did. All right. Actually, and Mike Fire is also the one that I think kind of initiated the Astros investigation with his interview. So we'll discuss that at ad nauseum later. I have opinions on this, by the way. So
that needs to be an episode in its own.
Oh, it'll be a whole episode. By the way, it'll be the most controversial episode because I have an opinion that is not shared widely by everybody. Erik, what's your high card?
Where are my cards at? Here we go. I got a good one. Adbert Alzolay, card number 340.
Wow. What the hell? Pissed.
So you got
just when I thought I was gonna
get
331.
And I definitely would have lost. I had 322. Card shop, Erik.
Wow.
2 wins, baby.
Veteran skills.
And we still have 2 packs to open.
Yeah, and it's opening day. So let's consolidate this. Let's open both packs together because 7 and 7. That'll make 14. We had 14 in each pack for this one. So open up both packs and we'll open up together. So this is 2020 opening day.
All right.
So we're gonna open these 14 cards all together. Impressive, Erik. Walking in, owning the room.
It's weird because I never get to actually really participate in Pack Wars anymore. I'm always hosting.
That's true.
So it's kind of fun.
You're causing me to get my second refill of the episode.
This is a perfect case of my bullpen makes me drink. You're now drinking the sorrow away.
This reminds me of the Angels bullpen. Our good friend Joey came up with the term that the Angels bullpen, it's not relief pitching, it's anxious pitching.
I didn't get too much, nothing real interesting. I got a cool Walker Buehler card, and I got the Nolan Arenado little sticker card preview card. You want me to tell you my high number yet?
No. Save it for the end. Angelo, you can go next. George says, bring in the fire.
All right.
I got a good one. That's all I'm going to say.
Bubble Pug, loving the back-to-back for Card Shop as well. Thank you.
Yeah.
Of course.
Miguel Cabrera, Tommy Edman, Rafael Devers, Kyle Schwarber, Craig Kimbrell, Hanser Alberto, New York Yankees opening day, really cool shot. Dansby Swanson, Trey Turner, Oye Como Va Uno Mas, Carlos Santana, Marcus Seaman, Justin Turner, Jesus Luzardo, and a spring has sprung, Bryce Harper.
Right on. Okay, so let me get these open while you get your high card or your numbers. Remember Miguel Cabrera, that will come up a little bit later in our trivia. That my 2 trivia questions. So Gene Segura, D. Gordon, upside down. Joey Lucchesi, Corey Seager, one of Erik's favorites right there. JT Real Muto, Omar Narvaez. A spring has sprung of Ken Griffey Jr. Now this logo right here, this is where he's at right there, and my Kingdom shirt. Eric Hosmer for the Padres. Garrett Cole, who just signed a $30 million contract and may not see any of it this year. So, what's he going to do for money? Mookie Betts, a Dodger now, right? It hasn't been a Dodger yet, but soon to be. Brandon's favorite, Buster Posey. Elvis Andrews has left the building. We haven't seen any Brewers in this yet. Oh, this is actually this is a variation card.
Nice.
Of Gavin Looks.
Nice.
Cool card.
Nice.
Really nice card. And opening day, Milwaukee Brewers. So there you go. There you go. So we can find.
I need to go grab my second can. Hold on.
Okay. So while we get, well, that inspired some more drinking.
It absolutely did.
All right. So Angelo, why don't you go first? What was your card? Your high card from that?
178. 178.
And let me look here. And it's going to be a dramatic pause.
Another shout out to George M for the amalgamator.
Yeah.
There, the Beechwood.
One of my favorite F words is free, and you got a free beer to you. You have a video of it on your YouTube channel of unpacking that beer, and you have some from was it AleSmith? The brewery in Anaheim. The bottles.
That dark bottle that was like called Black Tuesday or something?
Yeah, it's from a place. George says Highland Park was the Hello LA, but it was the brewery was the bottled beer. Yes.
Yeah, it was like Black Tuesday or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and there's in Orange.
I haven't touched that yet. That thing looks dangerous.
What I like to call that kind of beer. It's go to sleep beer. Once you have that, the night is over.
I'm saving that for Card Shop Matt. He loves those.
Yeah, and it's higher alcohol, but it's probably barrel aged, and it's like, oh my gosh, like it makes your eyes cross. So definitely. Erik, what high card did you have for opening day?
I want to say what's up to David S. I recognize him from the HOFPC chats, and Fletcher just popped in saying we're looking good.
Oh, right on.
He's talking about the stash, of course.
Thank you, Brandon. We just saw a Buster Posey for you. Are you serious? 198, and I have a 192.
Ha!
Are you serious? Clean sweep?
Clean sweep for Card Shop Erik.
3-0.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
Technically counts as 4-0, right?
If we want to count it as 4-0, we can count it as 4-0.
It was 2 packs.
That's 2 packs. Okay.
You guys had to condense it in order to try to beat me, and it still didn't work.
Oh my goodness. This guy.
Bubble bag, back to back. So as we like to say, we're very hospitable to our guests, and well done. And so the guests are really racking up the score. You might even be over me at this point. So very impressive. Thank you, Erik, for joining, and that is awesome. And please, HOFPC.com to get all these products. And also, please plug the personal breaks on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, correct?
Yeah. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, personal breaks where we open up products live for the viewers on YouTube that are watching live. And a lot of fun. Love it. So these standings will be updated. And I'm sure Angelo doesn't want to look at any of these. It's okay. I'm in a KBO fantasy league where we're following the teams. My team is 1-11, the SK Wyverns. So I'm getting trounced. It is what it is, and we're going to be playing this for hopefully many years to come. So you'll have look how mad you are.
Fuming. If I were to remove my hat, you would see steam coming out of my ball bat.
You gotta go.
Yeah.
Yeah, go Fred
I think
Durst.
I think next week I'm gonna have to wear rally cap style for pack wars.
There you go. Exactly. And by the way, there's actually a style of hat now where it's made rally cap style, which is cheating. 100% cheating.
That is cheating.
But
You can't do that.
Which rally cap style though?
Inside out.
Whatever team you want. So that it's actually turned inside out,
Yeah.
like on purpose. That's cheating. You don't buy it that way.
No.
All right, so let's go on with baseball trivia now. And please, in the comments, if you know the answer, please chime in, and we will definitely acknowledge you. But let's test the experts here on the Beer Baseball Blogcast. Let's test your knowledge of America's pastime.
This is Angelo. This is where you're going to get the best of me because I stink when it comes to trivia.
All right, and no looking on the internet. Please go from your baseball knowledge. I actually guessed, and I got all these wrong. So, there you go. Who holds the record 52 for most homers during a Triple Crown season? That's why I said Miguel Cabrera. There's actually a tie-in there. A, Jimmy Fox. B, Lou Gehrig. C, Mickey Mantle. Or D, Ted Williams. Angelo, what do you got?
I'm gonna go with D, Ted Williams.
Ooh. Now, why do you go with that?
When I think about prominency during Triple Crown seasons, that's kind of what sticks out to me the most. Is when he achieved a Triple Crown season with the homers, kind of sticking out. But aside from that, I mean, this is merely a guess, so I don't know the answer for certain. But my gut's telling me to go D, Ted Williams.
All right, Erik, any thoughts?
I mean, I got to go with the Mick just because I feel like he is probably the guy that hit 52 homers in Triple Crown season.
So and then George actually guessed Jimmy Fox, which was my guess. Because he's one of those players that's kind of under the radar, and I'm like, well, maybe it is. But that
was my first thought. But
yeah, and he also admits he's guessing, which was I guessed as well.
I was also guessing when I said Mickey Mantle.
Okay, so the answer is Mickey Mantle. Nice guess. That is tremendous. So, and then Chad M also guessed Ted Williams as well. So, I actually looked this up, and he was the only one with 52 homers. It was in 1956. Again, this is before our time, but this is the beautiful thing about baseball is that we can actually look back on all this, and there's so much history. And to think that he hit 52 home runs and 130 RBIs, but also a 353 batting average.
Wow,
that's
incredible.
That's incredible as well. Absolutely. Yeah. So that's the fun part about, we hear about the lore of Mickey Mantle, not the lure, but the lore of him, and he definitely lived up to it for sure. So our second question is, who is the only National League player with 2 Triple Crown seasons? Now, I didn't explain this before. Triple Crown being home runs, RBIs, and average. And it hasn't been done a lot. So the last person to do it was Miguel Cabrera.
Leading the league in all 3.
Yes, absolutely. So this one, and then the National League has less players than the American League, and I think the number is maybe 12 or 14, I think. But who is the only National League player with 2 Triple Crown seasons? Mm-hmm. So I mean, this is it's a very rare feat, but to do it twice is even more outrageous.
I don't know. I'm on the fence between Musial and Schmidt right now.
I'm in the same exact boat, Erik.
Yeah, so I mean, again, I got both of these wrong when I first guessed, and
I think I'm gonna go with Musial.
Okay.
And
Good guess.
I'll go with Schmidt since we're both kind of in the same boat. Make this a little bit interesting.
So, George has Hornsby with a question mark, which I did before on a trivia question before I was actually Rusty Staub, and I put a question mark, which means I wasn't sure, but I actually got it right. Chad M says Stan the Man. Bubble Pug says Musial as well. But the answer is Rogers Hornsby.
Wow.
Another name that I don't know much about, but it makes me want to go back and see more about him. I believe he played for the Cubs. I know him as a Cardinal, but he actually, his baseball career is really amazing. And but to look at this, 400 averages in a season for 22 and 25. Now, you would think was it harder or was it easier to play back then? I don't know. But these are some incredible numbers.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And you would look, so in looking at home runs and RBI, and looking at in home runs and RBIs, it's pretty comparable to what we're seeing with modern day players, but that average is insane.
Nuts. Crazy.
And I would probably err on the argument that it was tougher back then than it is now.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. So, but that's two over 400 seasons. That's insane.
And to Kevin Lyon actually checking in from an undisclosed location. We might have to. we might have to. I don't know where he's. He doesn't. And he doesn't have an icon, so I can only assume this might be an imposter. So I'm going to put him on hold. But Rogers Hornsby, it kind of incredible, and it makes me want to go back and learn more about these players from yesteryear. So awesome and a great job, guys, and we're gonna have more discussion like this. But I was glad that you got the Miguel Cabrera, who was the last person to do the Triple Crown. Like the last person I remember in modern baseball. I don't remember too many other players that did it as long as I was alive, but very interesting. Okay, so Card Shop, this one's dedicated to you. This is a baseball fact you might not have known. The subject is actually really awesome because he is one of your favorite players. George is guessing that it's Yaz. It is not Yaz. It is Ricky, the Man of Steel. So here is some awesome trivial things about Ricky Henderson. Erik, can you enlighten us as to why Ricky Henderson is one of your favorite players?
Yeah, long story short, when I was a kid, my dad would always talk about Pete Rose being Charlie Hustle and hustling around the bags. And, naturally, I wanted to find my own favorite player, Pete Rose being one of my dad's favorite players of all time. And when I found out about Ricky and his speed around the bags, I chose him. Kind of similar to Pete Rose, also fast, a lot of hustle. For whatever reason, at age 10 or 13, whatever I was, I fell in love with the A's colors, the forest green and the gold, and I don't know, it just started from there, and he turns out to be a Hall of Famer. So what did I know?
Absolutely. No, what a great player to follow. By the way, the Yaz that was in the comments, he last did the Triple Crown, and it was in 1967. So it was before I was born. So I was born in 1970. So thank you for that. But Ricky is an awesome player. He's iconic. He's definitely.
Look at his stride in that photo.
Oh my God! Like everything about him is awesome, right? And
he really is.
he was a colorful player, and he played for so many teams at the end, and he was always again, he was on second base. I think I told you this before. He was on second base when Joe Carter hit his Game 6 home run. So he's been around, and he's done awesome. He was a Dodger. He was
nine different teams in his 23-year career.
Crazy, and totally awesome, and super character. So now he 1,406 stolen bases. A young major leaguer could debut on opening day this year, steal 50 bases for the next 28 years, and still be 6 behind Ricky. Now that is insanity to think that. Now just look at
They don't let guys play as often as they used to. You know, that's a part of the problem where a lot of those types of records, this one, I think of Cal Ripken Jr. and others, that won't be broken because they just don't let guys play that much.
And they don't let them steal that much as well. The running game is completely out. Angelo, what was the leading base stealer for the Angels? Can you even remember?
Man, you know,
good point, Kevin, by the way.
Yeah. Base stealing is a lost art, for sure. What I do want to comment here is I do remember going to Oakland A's games, and there's one game in particular where Ricky Henderson stole multiple bases, and the eruption of the crowd when you would see him take off. I mean, even back then in a half empty stadium, just what an amazing moment. So, and I've had an opportunity to see a couple different base stealing accomplishments. One of my early one of the early San Francisco Giants games I went to in 1994 with Deion Sanders. He had an achievement. I can't recall what stolen base it was, but it was a milestone stolen base, and I got to witness that. But the level of excitement that spurned from a stolen base it's really awesome, and kind of a lost art, as I said. And yeah, you're right. I couldn't even tell you even in as many Angels games as we've been to, just the amount of stolen bases period that we've seen, or attempted stolen bases. So a lot more conservative of approach these days. But I mean, you still have your guys like, Tatis, right? Who's gonna put on the burners, but yeah, definitely a lost art in baseball, but incredible stat. And Halo Haven, Sean Fagan is 62. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, so that's an amazing stat. So and that'll come up later in my slides as well, about kind of the comparison between the two. So
I think of that clip real fast. I think of that clip I recently saw of Jackie Robinson stealing home plate on Yogi Berra, and wasn't that like a World Series game or something like that?
That's right. It just changes the game, absolutely. And what a risky play. And it's like with Jackie Robinson, it's like you would definitely put that into play to get a run.
I mean, that's why Ricky Henderson is the greatest leadoff hitter of all time. He was such a threat in so many ways. Not only did he lead the league in stolen bases, so whenever he got on base, he was a threat. I'm not sure if he leads, but he's at the top of the MLB in all-time walks. And he definitely, I believe he still leads the MLB in leadoff home runs. The guy was a triple threat.
I think the stat I saw, it was he's the all-time leader in unintentional walks. So like Barry Bonds is like the intentional walks leader, but I think Ricky Henderson has 61 intentional walks, right. Which 61 people thought that, or was it 61 times people thought, oh yeah, let's put him on base.
Yeah, great idea.
So Henderson nearly ran a marathon in his career just stealing bases. His steals at 90 feet between bases add up to 126,000 feet.
Cool.
Over 20 almost 24 miles, too shy of a marathon, which is absolutely insanity. So that's not
counting practice or minor league
exactly
or help.
To quote Allen Iverson, we're talking about practice.
Practice.
So this is where it gets fun. In 2019, the Texas Rangers led the major league in stolen bases with 131. Henderson in 82 stole 130. So that tells you where we're at with baseball. This is a fun one too. I found out on the road, Ricky would go under the names Richard Pryor, James Brown, and Luther Vandross. So he might have been better off doing Ricky Henderson.
Yeah, with those names, he would have been better off going Ricky Henderson.
Exactly. Another great fun fact is when he was playing for Toronto, he once fell asleep with an ice pack on his ankle and missed 3 games due to frostbite in the middle of August.
Ouch.
Wow.
That's a fantastic fact. I love that. But
I've been trying to look for a Ricky Henderson Blue Jays jersey just for fun.
That would be so awesome.
Hard to find.
Yeah, absolutely. And he should have one easily because he won a world title with them. And then this is the ultimate. If you don't know this Ricky Henderson fact, you cannot consider yourself a Ricky Henderson fan because it's the first thing I think about. In the early 1980s, the Oakland A's accounting department were off by $1 million. After investigation, they determined instead of cashing a $1 million bonus check, Ricky had framed it and put it on the wall.
Wow.
And they had to actually go back to him and actually have him cash that check, and so they could actually be right with the books. The reason why he put it on the wall because he said, "Hey, I'm a millionaire."
Baller. Most people put their first $1 bill or whatever they made. Ricky puts his first $1 million. Yeah, there'll be plenty more. No worries.
And I will say this. I literally and I will post this. I'm very proud of this. When I was 20, I think I was 20 years old. I might even be 21. I post a wage statement. I was making, I think, $4 an hour, and I had worked a 40-hour work week, and I think I got $320, and minus taxes, I made like, oh God, it was, probably like, 300 something, right? So it was 1991, which adjusted for inflation, it's still nothing. And it should have been making a lot. But I actually say that only because I like to brag about what I came from and what I am now. And to think that I could frame a $1 million check is inconceivable to me. And also wear what Ricky Henderson is wearing, throwing out the first pitch. And any thoughts, Angelo? Would you wear this outfit, by the way?
I go to sleep in that. So, but but throwing out a first, I don't know, lack of mobility in the arm. I don't want to look embarrassed if I short it to home. But I mean, I wish I could frame $1 million check. I mean, I could frame $1 million check, but it would bounce.
Erik, have you ever framed a $1 million check?
No, I've never received a $1 million check. I've received plenty of 1 cent checks from ASCAP, though.
Have you really?
Yeah.
You should frame those.
I'm actually noodling on my the first guitar that my music career ever paid for right here. Little 1971 Gibson SG. I don't know if that's relevant. I don't know if that's relevant, but
that's awesome. And that's right. You used to be in a band, correct?
Yeah, I played in bands for sure.
But I mean that you actually opened for known names of people that people would know of, right?
Possibly. It depends on what people we're talking to. We shouldn't get into that right now.
No, okay. For another episode.
Yeah.
So that's what I had for you. I wanted to end with we actually made reference to the great Bob Watson. I believe it's on our first, was it our first episode, Angelo? First or second? We actually, I actually, for the This Week in Baseball, Bob Watson actually scored the millionth run. That's how I knew it. He had the Tootsie Rolls. He actually had a Seiko watch, and we actually talked about him. And my hot take about Bob Watson was hey, come on, let the kids play from Bad News Bears Breaking Training. My hot take was that I actually wanted to see the Astros play that day, which was not seen as favorable, but I was really glad that we got to do that. And you can go back and I'll definitely link that discussion to this. But Bob Watson actually passed away recently, in between the time we talked about this. So I wanted to give him a quick shout out. Angelo, did you have anything you wanted to say? I was really glad that we got to talk about him. So that was really great.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and we have a group text with Beer Baseball, and we were just talking about how so happy we had the chance to talk about him and reference him prior to his passing. Yeah, I mean, definitely left a lasting impact, particularly with fans of the Bad News Bears series, and for winning a million Tootsie Rolls. And actually, side story, I was watching something over the weekend where a winner received a year supply of Snickers, so I couldn't help but chuckle because we talked about that 1 million Tootsie Rolls. So, but yeah, rest in peace, Bob Watson, and thank you for all your contributions to the game of baseball, both as a player and in his front office roles. And definitely glad we had an opportunity to bring that up in the One to Grow On, I believe is the One to Grow On segment a few episodes ago. So, yep.
Awesome. And Erik, you said that you actually didn't know about Bob Watson. So were you familiar with Bad News Bears Breaking Training?
I mean, I obviously know like the original Bad News Bears movie, but I'm not sure too much else about Bob Watson.
Yeah. So in this episode, they actually played in the Astrodome, and they said that they didn't have enough time. So they got a chant going after. It wasn't Lupus, but one of the players was actually running around, and the umpires were chasing him around. And Bob Watson said, "Hey, come on, let the kids play," which I actually said that I actually wanted to watch, Cesar Cedeno in the background right there, and Bob Watson play. So it was a hot take. Chad M actually, going back to our discussion before, actually said, Kevin Lyon busting it was Tanner. But Chad M actually said Ricky Coach with the Las Vegas Aviators, who you were wearing a hat of last year.
That's cool. What are they? Are they a minor league team?
Yeah.
They're with the A's, but they used to the Las Vegas 51s stopped playing, and now it's the Aviators, and they play in like Summerlin. They have a new stadium out there. Yeah.
I'd like to check out a little hat from that team. That's cool.
Oh yeah, and they're one of the teams like what was it? Oh gosh, I'm forgetting the other. There's a lot of Aviator teams in there, but yeah. So rest in peace, Bob Watson. We hardly knew ye, and but you made a big impact early on in our discussion, and we'll always remember you for that. So that is it. Thank you. We always encourage you to like and subscribe. On Twitter, we're Beer Baseball. If you look up Beer Baseball on Instagram, Facebook, Beer Baseball Blog, and on YouTube, we're there. So like and subscribe. Again, we're trying
to end the show. You're trying to end the show.
I'm trying to end. Yes. If
you didn't even tell us you were going to end the show.
But I was. Well, I'm going to pass it to you. I'm going to pass the Ducci as early '80s. I'm going to pass the Ducci to the left hand side. Card Shop Erik, can you please give us some of the places we can find you on internet, but also feel free to plug your business.
Just look for Hall of Fame baseball cards, Arcadia, California. Anywhere on the internet, you'll find us.
And
Thank you, Mike. I love you, buddy.
I love you too. Thank you so much. Angelo, where can we find you on the social medias?
Yeah, on the social medias, you could find me on Facebook. Just search my name, not on any other platform. You can find me, obviously, here on the blogcast. Car Shop Erik, it was fantastic meeting you virtually. Hopefully,
absolutely, Angelo.
Once this is all over, I'd love to head down to the shop with Mike, and then we can head over to that pizza spot and grab a slice.
Oh, Zello.
You know it.
Yeah.
Zello, baby.
Yeah. So, oh God, I'm looking so forward to eating in a restaurant.
that video you posted when you guys were cutting in that slice, like talk about mouth watering.
Oh boy, I'm gonna have to pick that up tonight, baby. I don't know.
I know. Oh my God, all I want is sushi, but now I'm thinking about pizza. Oh,
yeah.
But Erik, thank you for joining
they're
us
open for
this evening.
takeout. I think, Mike, I think they have DoorDash.
Oh, I could probably go for that right now. Oh my gosh.
Just
well, thank you guys for joining me. We're gonna do this again every week. So many people are popping in. David, thank you for joining us. Bubble Pug, Kevin, wherever you may be on assignment, thank you for joining us. Halo Haven. It's been a fantastic hour and 20 minutes. We will be back next week, and we will not see you at the brewery. We won't see you at the ballpark, but we'll see you here next Tuesday, 5 p.m. PST. Thank you so much. Take care, and cheers.